So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Infant Feeding, Let's Get It Right. And as you know, my name is Mary Dwasey, Bumps to Yummies founder, and I've got Janice Jarvis here. Janice, are you able to introduce yourself, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Janice. I am a midwife and I work with Mary. So if you need any help with anything, we're here. We're ready and open to answer any questions.
Thank you, Janice. So I will share the screen very quickly so that you can see our slides. Is it on full show? Yes. So today is infant feeding, let's get it right. And when we talk about infant feeding, let's get it right, it's not just purely on position attachment, but there is a whole lot of background to infant feeding. So that is what we're going to go through. So we're going to be looking at the best practices, discovering the best practices for infant feeding, ensuring that your little one receives optimal nutrition. Secondly, expert advice, as Denise has said. If you have any questions, anything at all, if it's not even in relation to infant feeding, but to pregnancy, preconception care, postnatal care, that is what we're here for, because Bumps to Yummies, we're here to support mothers. We're experts, we empathize, we empower women, and we have a community that we're trying to create where women will come, feel comfortable, able to share of the experiences, able to make friends with new mothers or older mothers, and then also take information away so that they will have an optimum life through the motherhood journey. So a bit of statistics. I had to just literally use myself, because obviously if we're doing what we're doing, we're practicing what we preach. So this is data from the GP Infant Feeding Network. And I'm just basically going to quote it. It's not my work, it's not our work, but it's something that I've just copied it verbatim. So statistics have shown that there were concerns about infant feeding being highly significant to women in the postnatal period. There was a large survey that was conducted in 2017 by the GP Infant Feeding Network, where women were unable to access their midwife. 29% instead attended their GP, A&E, or a walk-in center to address their concerns. The most common concerns were in regards to baby feeding, which was 64%, and sore nipples was also commonly cited, which was 27%. So looking back in infant feeding, so every NHS service is meant to have a service being run where midwives are enabled, or an infant feeding lead supports the maternity department or the midwifery team with the latest information or data so that they will be able to support mothers, either position attachment, making informed choices of whether to breastfeed or bottle feed. That is dependent on the mother and the father, whether to support you, whether to give you the information that you're able to take so that you're able to make those decisions. Also, midwives being best placed, or healthcare professionals being best placed to signpost if they're unable to provide the support, because whilst you're in the hospital, there will be ongoing support for you. But once you go into the community, you will be signposted to the services in the community for you to be able to feed your baby effectively, and then also to prevent these issues, which sometimes, if babies are not feeding well, they could end up with jaundice or readmission, losing weight, and all those things. And whilst you have what is it called? When you go home and you don't have easily accessible to healthcare professionals, it makes it very difficult. That is why we're having women going to GPs and A&Es and then walk-in centers as well. So what we'll say is you have to make sure that you utilize the services that you have in your local community. If you're not aware of it, ask your health visitor or ask your midwife or your GP so that they will be able to signpost you. Also, that is why we're here. Bumps to Yummies. We are here. We offer services online and face-to-face as well. So any events that we're running, whether it's online or face-to-face, make sure that you tap in. And if you have any questions, you have to come back to us. How do we get rid of, not get rid of, how do we minimize babies not feeding well or minimize sore nipples? So babies not feeding well, it goes back to relationship building, you know, looking at the feeding cues. Okay, so looking at skin-to-skin contact. Just bear with me. Yes, so looking at skin-to-skin contact. So initially, once you have the baby, we will be encouraging you, or even in antenatal period, we will be encouraging you to have skin-to-skin contact because of the benefits, you know, bonding, baby starts laying and baby starts going on the breast immediately. If that is the choice that you've made to, the feeding choice that you've made to feed your baby. Also, it helps with survival and growth and brain development for the baby with skin-to-skin contact, because remember, when the baby is just directly next to your skin, you know, they're used to your heartbeat. They've known your heartbeat for 9 months, so they will hear your heartbeat going. You know, if it's quite calm, they will know that mommy's in a calm state. So I have to, you know, reassure myself or start to calm themselves as well. At that same time, there is release of oxytocin, which is the love hormone, the happy hormone. We do not want too much of cortisol, which unfortunately stress passes on to the baby as well, which we do not encourage moms to be in the state of stress. So the optimal duration, when we look at World Organization, Department of Health, and I think NHS as well, when you look at the information that they put out, there is a recommendation that baby should be breastfed for the first 6 months and then moved on to solids appropriate to their age, and then continue to be breastfed up to the age of 2 years. This is because of the benefits of breast milk and its nutrients that it carries. So we need to ensure that there is effective position and effective attachment. And because that is more practical, we will be doing sessions, face-to-face sessions at a location where you will be able to come in if you live in that borough to come and access that, because it will be much easier for you to actually see how it's practiced so that you'll be able to learn from there. Also, World Organization has kept an eye on reviewing always, you know, how babies need to be in optimum health, especially what they're fed on for the first 6 months. So nothing else. It's just no water even, purely breast milk. Mothers can decide to do either, if the baby doesn't want to go directly to the breast, they can do express breast milk, offer express breast milk. Also, if they want to do partial breastfeeding, then it's express breast milk and then also a formula milk. But they need to know that it will always be just the first stage formula milk for the babies. And then if you're in the hospital that you've given birth, they will be able to show you how to sterilize the bottles and how to feed the baby responsibly, bottle feed the baby responsibly, to encourage relationship building as well for bottle-fed babies. Research has also shown that stress, cortisol, also passes through mom's breast milk to babies. As I previously said, mom needs to be in an optimal state, in a relaxed state. I know that sometimes when baby is quite stressed, or when you're not sure of baby feeding, of baby attaching or having effective attachment, or even baby is attached and you're in severe pain, obviously at that time you're stressing yourself. That stress passes on to the baby, and baby will be very fussy, not settling, doesn't want to settle on the breast and attach effectively. At that time, your healthcare professional would be able to support you to, you know, relax. Because remember, It might be your first time, even if it's your third or your fourth time, every baby's different. And it might be that they might not immediately go on the breast, but they will have to learn. But they're waiting for guidance from mom. When they come out, they already know what to do, but they need to be in a relaxed state so that they will be able to go on the breast and feed. So we do not want mom to be in a stressful state too much, stressing, and then baby not settling to go on the breast. When you're stressed, research has shown that it affects breastfeeding directly. It also impacts on the amount of breast milk available, because once baby goes on and effectively remove the breast milk, at that time, at the end of the feed, the milk making hormone, which is a prolactin, is high. But if the baby doesn't go on the breast and remove the milk effectively, then the prolactin levels are quite low. So they will start having an impact on your milk production. Also reducing the milk's quality, obviously cortisol going into the breast milk and then making you feel impatient or tense whilst trying to feed your baby. So you need to, as I've said before, if you're in the environment, if you're still in the hospital, healthcare professionals will be able to support you to be in an optimum state so that you'll be able to breastfeed the baby. Also, if you're in the community, that is where you tap into the services that we run or into the local service in your borough for support. If you're wherever you are, if you have any feedback as well, all the trusts should have a patient experience midwife or a channel where you can feedback so that we can improve on the services that we're running as well. Bear with me, I'm just going through the slides on my phone. So what are some of the tips that you're going to take, or some of the things that you're going to be looking out for to feed your baby? So you have to follow your baby's cues. Every baby's different. Some babies will start to open their mouth. Some babies will start turning their head towards where the breast is. If your baby's angry, it's time for you to feed. I know that sometimes when you're in the middle of doing something and then baby's showing all these feeding cues, you're trying to finish it off before you actually go and sit down and feed the baby. By then, baby's already crying, and it will take a bit of time for you to calm baby down before baby comes onto the breast. But once baby shows you the feeding cues, that tells you that baby's ready to feed. So you need to sit down, find somewhere comfortable, sit down and feed the baby. Also, things that you have to do to de-stress your day. Talk to some moms. There's so many mothers, your neighbors, new mothers, because they might be going through the same thing that they would want to ask or, share. Because the more you talk about your challenges, people are able to give you advice. Also, sharing with us as the Bumps to Yummies team so that we will be able to help you. If you're unable to help you, we will be signposting you to the specific services that will be able to do that. Also, trying to breastfeed in a different room or in a different position or in a different chair, because sometimes distressing before you breastfeed, this can also help you to be in an optimum state to effectively breastfeed. A small change in your surroundings can help you feel comfortable as well. So it goes back to position attachment, effective position attachment, relationship building, looking at the feeding cues, keeping baby close to you. Also, remember that the breast, it's not only for nutrition, but also for comfort as well for the baby. So sometimes they might come on the breast, but you might not feel a very strong pull, but it's just because they're using it as a comfort. They want that closeness. They want that warmth with mom. Remember, baby had been in your womb for 9 months. When they come out, they do not want to be by themselves for a longer time, which is normal. But as the months go, as they grow, they tend to change, and you have to go according to how they change, so that it becomes a bit easier for you rather than you trying to get the baby into a routine surrounding you. So if it works for you, you have to do that. But what I tend to advise and from experiences, once we go with the flow of the baby, it makes your life easier. Janice, do you have anything to add?
Nothing much really, other than just to echo what you said. You know, we sometimes read books, we watch documentaries, we watch TV programs, and it's very much about getting baby into a routine as soon as possible. But like Mary said, no, go with the flow. Each baby is different. Each time you have a baby, it is different. So you learn your baby. You don't have to compare yourself to another mom or to your sister or to your best friend. This is an experience that's just for you and baby, for the two of you to learn each other. And like Mary said, when it's time to feed baby, you find a space that is quiet for you, that's calming for you. It might mean that you might ask your partner or a relative or a friend if they're in the house with you, or if you know it's coming up to feeding time, if something that makes you calm is simple as making a cup of tea so that you can have that cup of tea while you are feeding baby, it calms you down, it will calm baby down. Thank you. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you. I had to thank you, Janice, for adding that to that. Apologies for the dog. He just managed to come inside to basically disturb us. But this is the end of the session. So if you have any questions at all, if you have anything that you want to know, please, 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 Bumps to Yummies, our telephone number is it's 07534622703. And our website is bumpstoyummies.com. If you go there, our events page also is there. There's quite a lot of information. Upcoming events will be posted there as well. So if you want to register, kindly register and do share with mothers in your tribe, anyone that you know, please share with them so that they will benefit from these sessions. And also, if you are on YouTube, please do follow us, because we will be dropping in some other videos on certain topics as well. Thank you so much for joining, and have a blessed afternoon.